This year, the Shakopee Fire Department celebrates 125 years of service to the city. Since its origination in 1883, much has changed, from the types of services provided, to the equipment used, to the water sources available, and so much more. It's a fascinating history. Ed Moser, a 22-year veteran of the Shakopee Fire Department and author of Shakopee, Minnesota, its volunteer fire department 1850s to 1990s, recently sat down to share some of his personal experiences and the historical information he discovered while researching his book. As a small trading post in the 1840s and 50s, Shakopee didn't have a fire department. Instead, a bucket brigade of local residents and business owners fought fires as best as they could. If the job was too large, the city called Minneapolis or St. Paul for help. All that changed after fires in 1872 and 1879 destroyed many homes and businesses and prompted the Common Council of the city to create Shakopee's first volunteer fire department in 1883 and spend $2,900 for firefighting equipment.
The fires we had back before the turn of the century. Of course, needless to say, I wasn't there. Nobody was there anymore. But the downtown area, we lost just about all of it. We started firing. And how do you put it out when you had pumpers that you pumped by hand? You carried water by buckets and things like that. But the railroad companies came to the front and they said, we'll help you guys rebuild. And they did. They sent the St. Paul Fire Department out here and helped us fight the fires. And because of them, I think, is one of the reasons that Shakopee is where it is today.
When the department was first organized, there were 3 companies within it: the pumper company, the ladder company, and the hose company. Each company was responsible for bringing the equipment to the fire and handling the equipment's care and maintenance after fires. Early firefighters were truly volunteers. Most of them were business owners or city council members who originally served for no pay. Minimal pay of 25 cents per hour was added later, and today that amount has grown to $10 per hour.
The business people in this community, like in every other community, are the people who started the fire department. They had the most at stake. They wanted to make sure that their businesses was not going to go down up in flames. So businessmen would join. The Rock Spring Bottling Company, the Reese's. They owned a big conglomerate here in town, but they were on the fire department. They might have had a selfish motive, but they had a community motive too, And these people, to this day, you have people that are in business that are on the fire department. Sometimes it helps, not always.
The department's first fire station was housed in the lower level of City Hall at 2nd Avenue and Lewis Street. Atop the building was a fire bell used to call the firemen to duty. The station would stay at that location until 1955, when it was moved to 2nd Avenue and Scott Street. This building is still used today, along with the new fire station at 2700 Veerling Drive East. During the last 125 years, the Shakopee Fire Department has been challenged by many devastating fires, such as the Shakopee Flour Mill and Brewery fires in the mid-1800s, the 1916 Jacob Rees Bottling Works fire, the 1923 Minnesota Stove Company blaze, the Riviera Supper Club and 4-H building fire in 1952, and the 1957 Page and Hill fire. Perhaps one of the most memorable fires was the 1959 fire at the Shesho Hughes automobile dealership, where Shakopee lost its first and only firefighter in the line of duty. Max Wormerskirchen fell through the roof of the building during a venting operation. On July 4, 1973, Shakopee residents really saw fireworks at the explosive Pollution Control, Inc. fire. During the 10-hour blaze, hundreds of 55-gallon drums filled with chemicals exploded hundreds of feet into the air. Spectators lined Highway 101 to watch the fire, which was reportedly seen 50 miles away. The Shakopee Fire Department was joined by 11 other departments in fighting the blaze. At the scene, there were 100 firefighters and about 25 pieces of firefighting equipment, not to mention the 15 tankers hauling hundreds of thousands of gallons of water from Shakopee and Savage.
We called the people from Minneapolis Airport, and they have trucks out there that fight fires, airplane fires with chemicals. Dry water, wet water, We had foam, and we got these people out there, and these are the people that helped us eventually put it out. We contained it, kept it in an area so it didn't get away from us, but they came out and used foam and finally got it knocked down. Nobody could get too close to the fire. Some people got sprayed on a little bit, I'm sure. But for the most part, everybody got through it okay, and we were thankful that nobody was hurt or killed in that endeavor.
More recently, many area residents will remember the August 2005 fire at St. Mark's Church. After an extensive renovation, the church caught fire. The Shakopee Fire Department fought the blaze with more than a dozen neighboring departments to help save the historic building. We recognize and thank the hundreds of men and women who have served the city, risking life and limb to help keep others safe from fire and other hazards. While many of them have gained much personally through experience and camaraderie, they've also given back even more.
I'm glad I joined. I'm glad I was part of the organization. And I would certainly recommend that any young man who has a flash or a need to have a little ambition in his life, and wants a little experience, a little excitement at times, it's a good place to go. You pay a lot back to the city that gives you so much, and to your neighbor that needs your help.